Welcome, guys. In life, nothing less than an integrated approach works, and nothing more is required. With this, I welcome you to today's conversation Make Your Career Fly. For those of you who are coming to this platform for the first time, my name is Sandeep Gupta. I'm a consciousness and culture expert. I'm a leadership and an organization development coach. I help businesses and leaders in resolving people issues and making the people unleash their genius and building high performance, impactful organizations. I'm also a transformational speaker. And do you know, today I'm very happy, I'm very excited. And the reason is Arshi Markin, the girl who is sharing the stage with me. Arshi was my student and I did mentor her also. And the way she has integrated her inner world and outer world and really made her career fly. I would not have got a better person to discuss this topic today than Arshi Markin. So, welcome, Arshi, and thank you very much for agreeing to have this conversation with me. Now, I pass on the mic to you. Why don't you share your career journey briefly and then kickstart the conversation of the day? Over to you, Arshi.
Sure. Thank you so much, Sandeep. It's wonderful sharing this platform with you. And thank you so much for inviting me to this forum. I think the first time when you told me that there is something like this, I was really excited from that moment. And my excitement has only increased by every day. And I think if I talk about my story here, it's been very straight, simple. I have spent 10 years, about a little more than 10 years in the industry. I am right now the head of professional development at JLL, and I joined JLL about 2 years ago. So my stint with JLL has been for 2 years. It's been really rich journey. I started as a manager, and now I have rolled up into a global role. Uh, but if I go back in the date, 10 years ago, how it all started. So in about 2010, 11, I completed my master's, which was from the Albag DEI University. I did my bachelor's and my master's in business management. And after, when I was doing my master's, I was literally trying to figure it out whether I wanted to do HR, marketing, or other subjects. But when I try to look into me and try to talk to a little more, people around me, I understood that I wanted to do something with people. I was always passionate about people, rapport, relationships, and just unleashing. And I was very, very interested in psychology. I had that as my subject in my school as well. So I wanted to do something in human behavior, psychology, and that kind of pushed me to start my career in HR, which I did, and I started my first job with Pfizer. It was a great opportunity there. I started being an HR business partner, but I did get an opportunity to try different things in that first year. And then I moved to learning and development. And when I started to do that, I started to realize that I was really passionate about learning. I am a passionate learner myself. Even after 10 years, I still feel I'm learning each and every day at work. And I started enjoying my work very soon in my career. Right in the second year, I was really happy, enjoying, thriving. And then there came a time when I wanted to pursue something more. I thought I've gained the education that I have, but I need to do something more. And I started with a course with Exhilarite, and I went to do a postmaster, a post graduate degree there. I completed that in 1 year. I had a great experience of studying from that B school, made great friends, again, understood more people practices because we were all professionals coming together and doing that. So great journey there. And then my journey for education actually started again, once again. I did it almost after spending 5 years working. I did this one, and then I took theology. I was interested and inclined to understand spirituality, religion. These were always the things which would drive me very naturally. So I took that course, and as you said, I've been your student, and you have been my fantastic mentor there. I think I've learned so much under your leadership, and your the whole course was amazing, because I just didn't learn what was there in the books. I learned so much beyond it, and I became curious in life. If you've given me something, you've given me curiosity, and I think that's the biggest gift I feel you've given me, because ever since I've become so curious about why and what and why this is happening. Uh, so that was very very a great experience for me, and it also helped me in my career, because when I went back to my I was in my career at Pfizer, and people were interested in what I was doing, and they were interested in why theology. And when they heard from me, I got a chance to present in a national conference, and they wanted me to speak for a half an hour seminar on what is theology, and one topic. And I know I remember working so closely with you on that. I think that changed. Something changed that day. I think my positioning in the organization changed. They started looking at me from a different lens. People realized that I have, there is some niche that I have created for myself. I got all those comments in the, in those Scrabble books that people had put comments into. So I was really happy, and I think uh, my positioning changed, and I got into facilitation. Went into training. I got certified into different trainings, different leadership topics, and I started my journey into facilitation and leadership training. And I think ever since, rest is history. I think I've done just as much. It's not too great a story, but yeah, that's my simple, short and sweet.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant, Arshi. A big clap for you for all the progress you have made. And you brought out a very interesting point. The moment we talk of spirituality, people think this is something, woo woo, or it is something which a person needs to dabble in once the career is over, right? And well, going back, I remember the discussions we used to have. So, if you permit me, I'll just repeat those discussions, right?
Yeah, yeah,
For the
absolutely.
okay, guys, there are three words: spirituality, spirit, and spiritual, and they flow in the way spirit, spiritual, and spirituality. Now, spirit is something which gives us life, which is the core. Spiritual is what contains that spirit, and spirituality is the journey of making kinetic, or the journey of unleashing the qualities of the spirit. So, guys, spirituality is not something out of the world. It is something which all of us are already. We are spiritual because the spirit is functioning in us. Had the spirit not been functioning, we would have been dead. Okay? And now, just taking forward Arshi's example in Pfizer, we did a project, Arshi, if I remember correctly, on spirituality and how it impacts work and personal life,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
Now, what is spirituality? The qualities of spirituality are oneness, love, mutuality, uh, a larger purpose, looking beyond yourself. And if you map all these things in today's organization, don't you think all these qualities or attributes are being demanded by your organization? What is teamwork? Teamwork is oneness, aligning your goals, aligning your objects, right? Tolerance. When does tolerance come? When does compassion come? It's only when you think, when you plan and act out of love. So, the point I would like to make is spirituality. If you apply it in your day to day life, it brings about a profound change in the way you think, in the way you connect, and in the way you relate and act. And that is a game changer. And I think this was the game changer in your career also, Arshi.
Absolutely, absolutely bang on. I think it does bring that element of consciousness. It makes you more conscious. in terms of you're more conscious of your surrounding, yourself, you're more aware in life in general. And that did help me, because after that I think I did discover some side of me which I didn't know before it. I thought I was as much as I was working and enjoying my work and all of that, but I think we went way deeper after having experienced that through you.
Okay, now, Arshi, now you have been in the HR for 10 years, you see, and my experience as an organization development person, whenever the time of promotion comes, whenever the time of KRA's assessment comes, people think in terms of I. I have done so much for the organization. The organization should be doing this thing for me. Don't you think people need to think in terms of we?
Absolutely. In fact, one thing if I pick from what you said, you spoke about spirituality, and I think one dimension and the overarching dimension of spirituality is also connecting and associating yourself with something bigger. I think when you do that, even at work, when you think that it's something beyond me, then it will become all encompassing. It will not just be about you, it will be about people around you, it will be about people in your family, friends, society. You will start to see your actions and how they impact, how they have that snowball effect on not just you but even your surroundings. So I think that's what I wanted to even say. When you become conscious that how my actions are going to impact other people, and that changes your thinking, because then you don't think as I, you think as we. You think about us and everyone, and things larger than just yourself. So yes, people have tendency. Yes, I think we all have that tendency. I will not exclude myself from that. Sometimes it may be a situation where you start to say and feel I have done this, but then when you realize you were like so many people were working to make it successful. So so yes, so that's my point.
Arshi, my experiences, and I come across this situation very frequently of this I business, you see,
Yeah.
and people complain that, okay, we have not been rewarded. And when I, as a coach, I get deeper into them, I find that they are seeing the organization not as an ecosystem. They got to realize that the organization is an ecosystem in which they need to dovetail. The ecosystem will not dovetail into them.
Yeah.
Or, in scientific terms, if the organization is a complete system, then the employees are the subsystems of the organization. And like the employees have got expectations from the organization, similarly, the organization also has expectations from the employees.
Right.
And I've seen one thing more. You correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of people, they are confined to their scope of work. They might be very good in accounts, they might be very good coders, they might be very good marketing people. But when it comes to teamwork, they fall flat. When it comes to strategic thinking, they fall flat. When it comes to observing stress, managing stress, sorry, my mistake, managing stress and observing what is not obvious, they fall flat. My personal thought is that in case anyone wants to make their career fly, they got to work primarily on four skill sets. Number one is the functional skill sets, which lands up or which helps the organization in performance and results for which they're hired. Number two is the emotional skill set, because since an organization is, say, a group of people working together for a common purpose, so they need to connect. They cannot afford to create friction. The intellectual skill set, and lastly, the spiritual skill set. Like I said, okay, The spirit is within us. So the qualities of the spirit, the human values, ethics, they come from the spiritual skill set. So till the time, personally, I believe, especially in today's times, when we are living in knowledge industry, we are living in knowledge economy, where people are the prime drivers of organizations and economy, unlike the 20th century where machines were the prime drivers. Personally, I think these four skill sets, functional, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, unless all the four are integrated together appropriately, the carriers cannot really fly. What is your thought, Arshi?
Absolutely, it's very much in sync to what you just said. How I break it up in my head is aptitude and attitude. So a lot of people have that aptitude. They have those functional skills that you said, or they can learn it, or they can pick it up through trainings and other interventions. But then there is this attitude, which is all about your behavior. It is about your emotional intelligence. It's about your, it's about all other things that you said. Really, it's about that spiritual dimension, who you are and how you think and how you comprehend situations around you. So, as they say, and I think so many people would have heard it, and maybe I'm just repeating, but I love saying it. It's not just the aptitude. If you don't have the right attitude, you can't really fly. I mean, you will have challenges. There can be exceptions. I'm not saying that, but people will struggle. People struggle because of their attitude more than their aptitude. Aptitude, we always, and people in organizations, if I see, people hire for attitude these days. Honestly, hiring has also become about attitude. If you don't carry the right mindset, when I kind of design interventions for people in my organization, I don't just look at skill set, but I also try to look at mindset. For example, recently I was designing a program and intervention for, we were doing it for managers, people who become first time managers, who just take that leap of now from transition from individual contributor to being a people manager. I saw that it's not just the skill set that they need the right mindset, they need emotional intelligence, they need that transition from me to we, which you also said. So uh, I think it's very, very important. All things that you said, it is like that. It is divided into all these four quadrants that you said, and I divided it like aptitude, attitude, very similar to what you said. Uh, that's my thought.
This reminds me, I'm working for an organization, right? I'm coaching the people, and the management agreed. They said, yes, as far as the skill sets are concerned, the functional skill sets, right? We have no challenge.
Yeah.
But in case we want to grow, our people, need to have the right mindset. So the entire focus is now helping the people to have the right mindset.
Right.
And at a confidential level, what has come to me? Aggression is too much, not assertive, cannot handle stress, distracted. So, guys, let me give you a small formula, where you can really get your act together. And this formula will not only help you in your workplace, will also help you in your personal life. And once I give the formula, we'll take forward more tips and tools. How do you take your career to the next level? In simple terms, how do you make your career fly? And the formula is AOPA. A standing for attention management. A lot of us believe that our thoughts are more important than attention, but they forget the thoughts come because of our attention. Wherever our attention goes, energy flows. And wherever energy flows, that thing manifests. And now, therefore, attention is the most important thing in the human ecosystem and the most fickle thing. Tell me, while you are in office, right, in a meeting with the president or the vice president or someone, all of a sudden you find yourself on the cricket field, or you find yourself in a restaurant or a holiday which you are planning. Does it happen or not? Then you've got to pull yourself back. Attention management is very, very important today because of the internet, because of the IT, because of the smartphones, the way we live, our attention span is just falling and falling and falling. And with the advent of artificial intelligence, it's going to fall further because you just click and you get the solutions. Today I can't calculate or total up something without a calculator. I can't confirm my spellings without I'm not confident of my spelling without a smartphone. So the first thing is attention management. Learn how to manage your attention. Number two is observation. Now, when I say observation, I don't mean what you're observing outside you. I mean, what you need to do is also learn to observe what's happening inside you so that you can marry what's happening inside you with what's happening outside you. And believe me, every thought, every stimulus, every idea results in an internal reaction. And this reaction precedes the external reaction. So if you learn to observe what's happening inside you, then probably, not probably, you'll definitely be in a position to determine what's going to happen next outside you. And this space gives you the freedom to react or to respond. So the P stands for pause, and pause is the practice where you short circuit the reacting brain, that is the amygdala or the emotional brain, and you allow the stimulus to reach your prefrontal cortex so that you take a rational decision. And the fourth thing, A, stands for acceptance. Observe yourself. How do you accept? You say, yes, this is black, but this is black because so and so did this thing. You say, yes, I failed or I could not deliver, but do you know it actually rained that day, therefore I could not deliver? Come on, man. The thing is, you could not deliver. That's it, full stop. The moment you bring a writer or a story with acceptance, your attention shifts from acceptance to the story, to the excuse. And if you accept without a writer and a story, you immediately start thinking for a solution. That's the way we are hardwired. And if you apply this thing to your career, I'm sure you learn a lot about you. Where are you defaulting? Where are you stopping yourself? Where are you being your own enemy? So this is something which I wanted to share with everyone. If they start practicing this thing, I'm sure not only their career, but even their life will start flying. So, Arshi, what next would you like to share from your learnings, and what tips would you like to give people?
Sure. I think I would like to compliment all the tips that you've given so far because I am in the industry right now and I can see so many people. I know that these are some of these challenges that people often face. I would start with complimenting your tip about self acceptance, and I think it's very very important today to be aware of your own self in totality, in terms of who you are, what are your emotions, how do you feel, what triggers you, what motivates you, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. It's a massive job for sure. Awareness is not going to come by that one assessment that you take. It's a journey that one has to commit yourself to, but I think you have to start early. to be able to make that difference, because the moment you understand yourself, that's the place where you will start, that transformation will begin for you. And once you're able to transform, do that journey for yourself, you will be able to do it for others as well, so that I to be is also taken care of, because you're able to look at things from that totality. So one is about ensuring that you are doing enough for improving your self-awareness. The second tip that I have, from whatever limited experience that I have, is that uh, you really have to be engaged at your workspaces in your career. You have to be engaged, and I see engagement into three parts. Very, very briefly, if I put forth, the first part is happiness, the second part is satisfaction, and the third part is engagement. Now, happiness is something which is very transient. Happiness can come from anything. It can come from anything in terms of, you may be liking a co-worker that you work with, you like the working space, you like the office, you like the ambience, you are happy. But it's very transient. You have to ask yourself, is being happy at work, is that enough? I don't think so that is. The second part is being satisfied. Again, satisfaction, is that enough? Satisfaction may come from having a good work life balance, but is that pushing you enough? Is that making you go out of your comfort zone? Is that there, is that enough? It's not. I think the most important part is to be engaged. Engaged means that you're really engaged with the purpose, something bigger. You are part of bigger picture, and you realize that. I think a lot of times people really, I see that people work and their motivation is only has shrunk to only the paychecks. As far as I'm earning, I'm making money, I'm doing good. But I don't think so. If we really want our careers to fly, we have to think beyond paychecks. We have to think about, am I making a difference in the world, in society, at my workplace? What are the areas? How can I make difference? How can I contribute? And I think that's how your thought process has to should start to change. And the third tip that I have, which I feel is very relevant, it is about taking charge of your career. A lot of times, because I'm part of learning and development, and I've heard so many people. Uh, if I'm being all honest, I think my all that I know today come from the collective intelligence of the groups that I talk to. It's not my own. It is really taken from a lot of people that I get a chance to work with. I work with people across the globe, and I pick, because I said at the beginning I'm a passionate learner, so I try to pick something good from everywhere. So I have picked this thing up that one has to take charge of your own career. No matter organizations will try to push things to you, do this, do that, but if it's not coming from internally, if it's not coming internally, if it's not intrinsic, then there are chances that you may just fall flat after a while, and you may not want to pursue it. You pursued it because somebody pushed you into it, but to make the best of the opportunity, you have to surrender yourself to it, and commit yourself to it. And I think that's all that I have to say, sir.
Really, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's absolutely beautiful what you said. For the simple reason, opportunities don't knock. You got to extend your hand and grab them. If the door is not opening, you got to find the key to open the door. Like I read a beautiful quote by Sheryl Sandberg. It said, if you're offered a seat on a rocket ship, if you're offered a seat on a ship, don't ask what seat, just take it. A lot of us, start negotiating in our brain. What will I get? What will I not get? And we don't know what is in the other person's mind. And this thing happens because of our mindset, because of our upbringing, because of our belief system, value systems, and ego. So, guys, what I would like to say, remember the word phases. F stands for flexibility, A stands for adaptability, C stands for coherence, E stands for energy, and S stands for stability. Just try to bring these 5 factors, just these 5 factors, right? Flexibility, adaptability, coherence, energy, and stability in your purpose, in your thoughts and your action. Align your purpose, thoughts, and action. It should not be that your purpose is to go north. You are thinking and investigating about the south, and then one day just picking up your car and start driving towards the east. And believe me, a lot of us do this thing. So align your purpose, thought, and action. Bring these 5 factors. And like Arshi said, have a higher purpose. Like she said, take charge. There's no one coming to you and saying, okay, do this thing and you get a promotion. No. And work smart. Now, when I say work smart, I don't mean you go around bragging. When I say work smart, I mean be visible, participate, and participate intelligently. So this is all from my side. Arshi, would you like to add something more to it?
I think you very well covered it all, and I'm hopeful that tips that we've shared are helpful for people. And if it changes anything, I think that's the kind of purpose that I have. That if I'm able to move the lead needle at all, I think that's what brings me happiness now. Wherever I am in my career, I think that makes me happy. And I do conduct a lot of leadership programs, and whenever I am in those sessions, I always tell people that I might have spoken for 2 hours, might have told you wonderful frameworks and things, but if you don't do it, it won't make a difference. So it all starts with you. You have your own journey. These are only a few things that we could share from our experience. So I'm very thankful, Sandeep, for this opportunity. I think I just am totally thrilled of what we've done so far, and thank you so much.
No, you're welcome, Arshi. And one thing more, it just struck me while you were talking, right? Guys, look, what we do, we focus on one dimension of our life, whereas in reality, we have 7, 8, 9, 10 dimensions, which we want. For example, you want a social life, you want an intellectual life, you want your health, your career, your finances, your relationships, your spirituality. We need to strike a balance. By just focusing on one and neglecting the other, we create an internal friction and internal vacuum. And what you have inside, that is something which comes out. For example, if you got 100 rupees, you cannot give me 101. And remember, guys, integration, integrate all these things. Focus, use the tips which Arshi gave, and they're coming from real life understandings. Okay, Arshi, we got a message we are getting. Laksh Sharma says, thank you, Sandeep and Arshi, for sharing your expertise and perspectives. One LinkedIn user says, beautiful. Thank you for sharing such amazing insight. Well, guys, keep commenting. It's making us happy. So, yes, what I was saying, strike a balance, right? And remember, it's the invisible which creates the visible. The visible never creates the invisible. With that, thank you very much. And thank you, Arshi, for agreeing to be on this platform with me. I think
Thank
we
you
had
for
a
having
lo-
me.
I think we had a lovely conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.